Welcome to my channel, The Canine Code. Picture this. You're relaxing on the couch and your dog curls up beside you, just like they always do. But something feels different. Maybe they shift away when you touch their side, or they stand up slower than usual. Tiny changes like that are easy to blame on age or mood. Yet, dogs often whisper their pain long before they ever cry out. Have you seen something like this at home? If you love learning these quiet clues, feel free to hit that like button and stick around. Let's look at the subtle signs worth noticing. Number 1. Change in facial expression. You know those moments when you're petting your dog and their face suddenly looks different. Maybe their eyes tense just a little, or their lips pull tighter even though they're trying to stay still. Many owners recognize this scenario without realizing it's one of the earliest signs of discomfort. A dog's face can shift the same way a person's does when something hurts. And research on canine pain scales even uses tiny changes around the eyes and mouth as early indicators. Watch for squinting that wasn't there a minute ago, quick lookaways when you reach toward them, or ears that ease backward instead of sitting in their usual relaxed position. These signals often show up during grooming, petting, or even when your dog is just resting nearby. Noticing these details doesn't mean you're overthinking anything. It means you're learning your dog's language in a deeper way. Many viewers have an oh wow moment when they remember a time their dog showed that same worried expression. Faces speak first, but the next clues often show up when your dog tries to rest. And that raises a new question. What happens when pain starts to interrupt their sleep? Number 2. Sudden changes in sleeping or resting patterns. Have you ever wondered why your dog suddenly shifts around all night or can't seem to settle into their usual spot? That question pops up for a lot of owners, and it often points to a deeper discomfort your dog is trying to manage quietly. Pain disrupts sleep even in the most relaxed dogs. Studies on canine rest patterns show that joint and abdominal pain often appear first as restlessness or unusual sleeping habits, long before more obvious signs show up. You might notice your dog pacing for a while before lying down or switching positions every few minutes. Some dogs avoid their favorite cozy spot entirely, choosing a place that doesn't require bending or twisting. Others sleep more than usual because the exhaustion of managing discomfort catches up with them. And those stiff, hesitant movements when they first get up, that often speaks louder than any yelp. If you've brushed these changes off before, you're not alone. Most owners do. But recognizing your dog's normal rhythm makes these shifts much easier to catch early. And once you start noticing patterns, another question naturally follows. Why do dogs fixate on grooming certain spots when something feels wrong? Number 3. Licking or nibbling a specific area. Picture your dog curled up on the rug, completely quiet, gently licking the same spot on their paw over and over. The room is calm, nothing unusual is happening. Yet they stay focused on that tiny area like it's the only thing in the world. That kind of scene is easy to label as normal grooming, but repeated attention to one spot is one of the most common subtle signals of discomfort. Dogs lick to soothe themselves. It's their version of rubbing an ache or massaging a tense muscle. When the discomfort is deeper, like joint pain or irritation under the skin, they may switch from licking to nibbling or chewing. And if you start noticing a stain on the fur, thinning hair, or a patch that suddenly looks different in photos, that's often a sign the behavior has been happening longer than you realized. The goal isn't to watch your dog like a hawk. It's to notice patterns instead of single moments. Those patterns tell a story your dog can't put into words. And when a dog feels uncomfortable physically, another shift often follows. One that shows up in the way they interact with the people they trust most. Number 4. Changes in social behavior. Some of the clearest signs of pain aren't physical at all. They show up in your dog's personality. A sudden shift in how they connect with you can be one of the strongest messages they send. When a normally social dog starts slipping away to hide, avoids being touched, or stops greeting you at the door, they may be protecting a sore spot or guarding their body without realizing it. But the opposite can happen, too. A dog who usually enjoys a bit of independence might suddenly follow you everywhere or press against you for comfort. Pain makes some dogs seek reassurance the same way we do when we're not feeling well. And if your dog seems grumpier during grooming or snaps unexpectedly during handling, that irritability often comes from fear of being hurt, not a change in temperament. Quiet dogs may start vocalizing more softly, while vocal dogs might go completely silent. These changes aren't misbehavior. They're communication rooted in trust. Your dog is letting you know something feels different, and they're hoping you notice. And when their mood shifts, another place where discomfort often shows up is at the food and water bowls, or even tiny changes can reveal a lot. Number 5. Shift in eating or drinking habits. Studies have found that dogs often change their eating patterns before they show any obvious physical symptoms, which surprises many owners because the shifts can be so subtle. You might see your dog walk up to the bowl, stand over it for a moment, and then turn away as if they lost interest. That pause often reflects discomfort rather than pickiness. Dental pain, stomach irritation, or even joint soreness can make eating or drinking feel like a chore. Some dogs start eating more slowly, taking tiny, careful bites to avoid pressure on sensitive teeth. Others begin drinking noticeably more or less, which can happen when internal discomfort affects their natural rhythms. When you spot these shifts, think of them as quiet signals rather than everyday quirks. Small changes in appetite rarely show up alone. They often connect to something your dog is feeling physically. Keeping a simple, weekly log can help you notice patterns that would otherwise blend into routine. It doesn't need to be complicated, just quick notes that help you see trends over time. And once you start paying attention to these small eating habits, another piece of the puzzle becomes clearer. How pain starts to influence the way your dog moves from place to place. Number 6. Changes in movement and posture. It's a familiar moment. You call your dog onto the couch and instead of their usual happy hop, they pause at the edge as if they're thinking it through. That tiny hesitation often tells you more than a limp ever could. Dogs adjust their movement long before the discomfort becomes obvious. And those slow, careful choices are their way of protecting a tender spot. You might notice a stiffer walk, a slower approach, or a sudden reluctance to climb stairs they used to race up. Some dogs start carrying their body differently, an arched back, a tucked abdomen, or a tail held lower than usual. These shifts can be early signs of joint pain, muscle strain, or internal discomfort. Filming your dog's normal gait on a good day can give you a helpful reference point, making these subtle changes easier to spot later. Noticing this isn't about perfection. It's about understanding the small ways your dog tries to stay comfortable while still choosing to be near you. Those choices say a lot about the bond you share. And once you tune into how they move, another clue often stands out. Even when they're completely still, their breathing begins to tell its own story. Number 7. Changes in breathing or panting. Researchers have found that dogs can pant up to 5 times more than normal when they're dealing with discomfort, even in a cool room. That surprises a lot of owners because panting is so often linked to heat or excitement. But when a dog is hurting, their breathing becomes part of how they cope. You might notice shallow breaths during rest or a sudden burst of panting after shifting positions, almost like they're bracing themselves. Some dogs even hold their breath for a moment when they stand up or lie down, trying to steady the feeling inside their body. Pain can also raise a dog's heart rate, and heavier breathing, one of the first outward signs. It's subtle, easy to miss if you're not looking for it. Think back to any nights your dog panted even though the house was quiet and the temperature felt normal. Those moments often make more sense in hindsight. These quiet changes don't mean you've done anything wrong. They simply show how much your dog trusts you to notice the signals they can't hide forever. And when you start connecting all these signs, something meaningful happens. You begin to see how every small detail adds up to a clearer conversation with your dog. One we'll bring together in the final moments of this video. You might be thinking about your own dog right now, replaying little moments that suddenly feel more meaningful. That feeling is completely normal and it shows how deeply you care. When you start noticing these quiet shifts, whether it's a change in breathing, movement, appetite, or expression, you're strengthening the bond your dog relies on every single day. Early awareness often leads to quicker vet visits, shorter recovery times, and far less discomfort for your dog, which is one of the most valuable gifts you can give them. You don't need to catch every sign perfectly. You just need to stay curious and pay attention to the patterns that stand out. Those small details become a language you and your dog learn together, one that helps them feel seen and safe. If you've noticed any of these signs at home, share your experience in the comments. Your story might help another dog owner recognize something early. Thanks for watching my video. PLZ, subscribe, like, share, and comment. Take care.